Hello, hi, and welcome to the March and April milestone sheet. In this month, there's several things I wanted to cover. A lot of changes has happened in this month, so in April. So I'm including the March and April milestone sheet in one month because it's pretty much everything connects together. Okay, 2013 members. LBTC from 2013, the original configuration 1 system as we're calling it, which is based on bitcoins, has totally ended. So if you're on that C1 legacy site, you need to move over to C2. We got new software on the www.thelondonbitcoinbank.com website. We have new software for AMD, Radeon and Nvidia GPU users. If you're using GUI miner, if you know what you're doing, you can still continue to use that. The new software on the website, it makes it much easier. You know, you install it, it asks for your username, it sets you up in dual use, the correct method. Okay, so the big change is variable rate mining. Now we changed over a couple of days before the end of March, and all the devices, I've put my own device and the company's put its device into the lists, so everything's happening on all lists and financial unplugging lists now. Variable rate mining is real interesting. You know, during the month, what ends up happening is we're mining and we're building up, and then we do the conversions. And we've done some changes to improve the conversion methods, because the old method had a lot of routes. So what ends up happening is all these routes end up costing us fees. So we looked to optimize it, and we've found a better way. And with that, we're working with contracts and devices, and what ends up happening is each month, as we're earning through the LBTC grid, this can help us to build up a certain amount of hashing power. If you've been on the site, you've probably seen we've hit like over 5 gigahashes a second from essentially 1.3 gigahashes devices which we had from before, the 4 times 336 million hashes a second ASICs. Okay, so the variable rate mining, what it essentially means is that each month we can utilize those funds, essentially pushing it through a pipe, and it goes through and it helps build up contracts. And we estimate right now, with what we've seen from last month, we could have hit up to 20 gigahashes at one time. But it's variable rate, it can go up, it can go down. Sometimes we can have you know, the base 1.3 gigahashes, or it could be 0 gigahashes if those devices are down. But generally what will happen is it gives us a lot more room to earn during those times, which benefits the all list and financial unplugging list. The good thing with this is that well, it's good and bad. It's good because it means that the earnings from the lists will generally be more, and it will also stop those people who just wants to test the waters, who's come in here and they've installed the software and just done a little bit of participation. Spike gaming, as we've recently found with Rex. Okay, so what ends up happening is the main benefits will come from the lists. So when you start, your GPU earnings will be low, but then from those lists, getting on those lists will make a much more bigger difference. This has a positive and negative point with this system, as well as some changes. The positive point is we could end up with much more results, and there's no worrying about minimum payments because everything's flowing through the same systems. The downside is if we caught in a bad position, let's say we've bought the mining contracts but they've gone down, and then we have to convert, it could be less than what we could have had if we originally kept the Litecoins or the Bitcoins and waited till conversions. But these things happen. If you've looked at Litecoin and Bitcoin prices, you can see them sometimes changing like 50% in one day. So this is again one of the reasons why we have our payout rate set at 50%, because it has to cover those kind of eventualities which happen on a daily basis. Okay, so essentially with payments, what will happen is it will be more based like what we've seen recently with configuration 2 over the last month and 2 payments since configuration 2 LBTC grid started. And what that is we're basing it on actual conversion. You know, what is there in the bank ready to pay, because there's fees all over it. You know, we try to send 0.2 Litecoins and then it charges us 0.4, 0.6, sorry, 0.04 or 0.06 or whatever the case might be in fees, and all of that adds up. And in our old systems we wasn't factoring this in, which results in the company losing quite a lot of money. Okay, so the new payments, it means essentially what is converted is up for payments at the target payout rate. With the new system, variable rate mining, yeah, what will end up happening is we will try to give precedence to what is produced in the actual mining of those contracts. We're selecting financial unplugging 2 and 3. We should have details soon about this. The LBTC Council is working on it. There's, I believe, 4 names up for selection. We're changing things so that it's 12 months. You have to participate for 12 months to get on financial unplugging. And as you know, once we reach that stage, once you reach that stage, then what ends up happening is you can unplug your GPU. Now, I want to cover loyalty. You know, in our last self-service payments declaration, we had the question, have you been cross-mining? And cross-mining is a dangerous thing, and I want to warn you against it. Cross-mining is when you try to mine with us and then you go and you mine somewhere else. And the whole point of this project is we're all dedicated to this. You know, when you join, you dedicate. If you want to earn in coins, then I would suggest wait until financial unplugging, because once you reach financial unplugging, you're free to mine. And we give you clear directions on how to do that, so that your fullness of financial unplugging can happen. And the reason why I want to say this, why we don't allow it, is for one, everyone's concentrated and it's based on how many weeks you've been participating. If you've been trying to do things in other places, then you're not participating in here. It's theft. And even more, you have to understand difficulty. And when you turn around and you take your GPU and try and do things in other places, you put up difficulty, which ends up resulting in the miners in LBTC earning less. And what is the point? Because you're trying to get financial unplugging. You know, you're saying, and what we're looking at is, if you mine, you'll end up, you know, oh, it might be worth more, and you know, I've got this much. But in truth, what ends up happening is the LBTC project is about unplugging you. And if you dedicate to this project, we can unplug you. But it needs full participation. Okay, so the view of C2, I want to cover the view of C2. C2 is quite amazing. There is a lot of changes in C2. For example, in C1 it was all by yourself in a way, and it was all based on shares, and we're losing a lot of money with that. What ended up happening is we've changed over, because With C2, it allows group-based payments, as you know, um, and we've seen much more better incomes. You know, it's much better than what Bitcoins did produce. However, and I need to warn you that difficulty is an important aspect. We only have limited time, so please, if you know people with GPUs, bring them into the London Bitcoin Bank project. With variable rate mining, we can really make financial unplugging happen. And what is required is dedicated focus. Yeah, if we all participate fully, we can achieve this. You know, we need much more people in the London Bitcoin Bank project because before we can really move forward with our aims. You know, we're still very small, you know, and we're noticing some people ain't dedicated as fully as what they can be. But on the other side, I want to thank all of the participants who's really dedicated. You know, it really amazes me the kind of dedications we see. For example, LBTC Grid happened because Benedict and me was having a conversation, and Benedict said, you know, we need our own site. So we went about it, and now LBTC Grid is born, and people are making much more money because of it. So these are one of the benefits you find in the London Bitcoin Bank projects. It can drive us to achieve much more, but it only happens as a group. Looking forward, what I can see is that this variable rate mining benefit added onto LBTC Grid is a perfect solution for us to fully see the fullness of financial unplugging. We've got a lot of room we can grow to with these contracts, 400 terahashes, which we estimate is $500,000. Yeah, so there's a lot of payments that we can achieve with that. And also these new partnerships we're forging, which happens all the time and in the right places so that we can bring you the fullness of financial unplugging. Okay, before I close, I want to cover Bitcoin and Litecoin prices. Bitcoin and Litecoin prices went up in November. They shot up to astronomical levels, hitting $1,200 each. And then gradually they started going down and they've hit $400. Now they've improved over the last couple of days to $500. But you have to understand it is an up and down process, and during this whole process LBTC has your back, because during those times with this new variable rate mining solution, we can always focus so that we can bring you the best results. Sometimes it can be down, but sometimes it can be up, and what ends up happening is more we are attuned with the right things that's happening and be on top of events that's happening and the changes in the market, we can always make sure that when payments are happening, it's always in line with making sure that tomorrow there is an even greater benefit. The biggest problem is if you participate for a week, 2 weeks and then leave, it's bad for you. The new system, what it makes is it's gonna make it in such a way that it's based on participation. Your real results will only come once you've reached all lists and financial unplugging lists. That's when you start to see this process really happening. Once you get on all list, then what ends up happening is you get extra benefit from all of these contracts and devices that's running. And on top of that, once you reach financial unplugging and you take off your GPU and you don't mine anymore, and every month, forever, you get payments. That's our aim. And the aim is to build it up to the point when your own financial situation is catered for by the London Bitcoin Bank project. Yeah, this is called financial unplugging, and it's an amazing journey that we are uncovering. It's important not just for if we succeed, but we have peered through and we're seeing new things. We're seeing a new possibility of what life can be about for humanity. Whether we achieve or not, isn't the question. The question is, how much more can we uncover? And more we do that, you know, there's the glimmer of hope. And I hope that at the end of 2014 we can say we've truly financially unplugged one person, at least one, the first person. And you know, that will be a great achievement, but it can only happen once we get everyone with GPUs coming and working. Oh, that's all is required, your GPU. So for this March and April milestone sheet, I'm officially saying that I'm happy with our progress. We do need much more people in the London Bitcoin Bank to make this project succeed. So please dedicate yourself fully to this project and let us achieve financial unplugging together. Create a great day.